just chatting about dropshipping, probably telling a little bit of more insight about our stories, I think. And yeah, I mean, whatever you want to talk about too as well, Brandon.
Let's tell us what it was like when you're starting out. Like, do you tell like your friends that you're like doing drop shipping, and like what do your girlfriend think about it?
Oh yeah, so great question, man. For me, like when I started out dropshipping, it was definitely I think it was kind of more of like I don't know, people thought it was more of a shady business because like if you think about it right off the bat, like just the concept of buying stuff from China and like selling it to people in the US and in the UK like for a higher price, it's like, oh, at like face value, people look at it as, oh, well, you're just basically buying products like shitty products for cheap and like scamming people to buy them, right? I mean, I got that a ton when I was like first started. I don't know. I'm sure you same thing
Yeah.
happened to you, right? Like, so for me, it was getting over that like whole the mentality of like, it wasn't like so much doubt. It was just like, people not really understanding what I was doing it for. Like I was doing it just to like build something on my own. And yeah, like starting out, don't get me wrong, I gravitated towards the products that were like, um, I guess they were more of scammy products, I'd say. I mean, like I was doing teeth whitening, right? And it's like starting out with teeth whitening, you're really like the benefits are what's selling the product. It's like, I mean, it's essentially like a teeth whitening pen or a teeth whitening like powder. Like that itself, you can't just like sell that itself. You have to really sell the benefits. So I think that's what like made me realize that like, oh, there's really more about marketing, more so than the product itself. But then like as I transition to like my current winners, I'm focusing more on like the product itself. So I'm not necessarily having to like, fake the benefits so much. It's like the product is what it is. The benefits are there, and like it's like a high quality product. So I think initially I gravitated towards maybe crappier products that weren't necessarily easy to like. They're easy to sell the benefits, but the product itself was like pretty bad. So I had a lot of returns and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I think the doubts definitely
Yeah, the
that was a
doubts
huge
are a
part of
big
it.
one.
What about you?
So when I was starting out in January, right, with Rose Bears, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yo, guys, or actually when I was mentioning this back in like my first year of university, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I heard about dropshipping when I was in high school. So I mentioned this back in first year, and everyone was like, "Nah, bro, there's no way. I tried it and it didn't work." It was like, "Bro, you can't fucking do it, man. It doesn't even work.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta
Yep.
find like a
So
super high quality product." And I was like, "Okay, okay, I won't do it then." And then fast forward to April, I was doing something else online, right? So I made like my first 10K in that. Then and then that went downhill, right? Because it was like my first time ever. So then I learned some lessons from
Mhm.
that. I was like, damn, I should have like thought ahead. So then I tried drop shipping again. And luckily, like within my first month, I found like my first winner. So that Rose Bear, I found it off like Go Shop or something.
Mhm.
And yeah, pretty much scaled it. Then I would tell my friends, right? I'll be like, "Yo, guys, this shit works," and they'll just be like, they probably watch my channel, but they were like probably like, "What the hell is this guy doing? It's kind of
Yeah.
sketchy." They're like, "Yo, this guy's selling rose bears. That's kind of whack."
Yeah, yeah. No, I know what you're saying. It's like I think the big misconception is that, the products you're selling are more of like scam products. They're not like legit, but if you think of any major retailer, right? Excuse me, they're doing the same thing. They're buying products
Yup.
for cheaper. They're selling them, in store brick and mortar stores, for like 10 whatever, 5 10 times markup. We just don't see that as a consumer. If I go to Target, like this was actually funny though cuz Target was actually selling my product, and I thought to myself that's when I think the flip switched, like we were talking about earlier, is like um that's when I realized that like just how big of a scale like these massive retailers and these massive companies are drop shipping these products essentially, right? Like they're buying the same products that I'm selling like one item of. I guarantee you if they're selling it in their store or on their online store, they have like, oh man, tens of thousands of that individual product somewhere that they bought for like 10 cents or like 20 cents and they're selling it for $10. It's like, so the magnitude of it made me realize like, wow, if a store like Target is selling one of my products, then this definitely like drop shipping has so much potential. It's just like figuring out how to do it on a smaller scale and how to do it like most profitably, because like we don't have $1 million budget to burn through for advertising like Target and Nike and all these huge companies. Like we just have like maybe $1,000, couple $100 to spend on ads, and like so it's smaller scale is definitely where like the testing, I think you really have to figure it out like as fast as you can.
Yep.
But yeah, man, the doubt was definitely there when I first started as well.
Yeah, I remember they'd be like, wait, so you're sourcing stuff in China? What the hell? And then I'll be like, yo, look at your shoes, made in China.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's like, look at the mouse, okay. Like made in China, dude. Everything's made in China. It's nuts.
So funny. See,
are we getting any questions, man? Do you see any questions in there?
Jesse, hey Brandon, my conversion rate is way better today. By the way, up by 2% yesterday. That's freaking awesome, man.
Let's go. Shout out to Brandon.
And Noyan says, yo, what's up?
Hey, tell the people how old you are.
19, about to turn 20 next month, man.
Wow. Hey, so what's it like? I gotta ask you this, man. What's it like being like 19 and I mean you hit over? Well, what was your total sales right now? It's like
200,000 now.
Oh, you're at 200. Dang. Yeah. What is it like being a 19-year-old having 200,000 in sales? Say like whatever your profit is, 15-20%. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
What's that like in terms of your mindset? Because I think when I was 19, it definitely I wouldn't have had the same mindset you have. I think when I was 19, I would have been way too cocky. I would have been like flashing everything, and you don't do that at all, which is like, that's what I commend you for, man. Like you don't flash stuff. Like you could be 19 flashing crazy stuff, but you're like
the
very
social life, but
yeah.
I pretty much gave up on my social. I'm just like, whatever, man. I just like on my personal account, I just post troll pictures now, just to, like fuck with people, honestly.
Yeah, but how is it though? Like compare, I mean, like in terms of your mindset, like going forward, like what do you want to do in the next 3-4 years?
Damn, man, I'm saving up to like transition to like some business model, like a different one, if I have to, if this dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to save up as much as possible. I was thinking about buying a car, but then I was like, do I even leave the house? I'm just like, I don't leave the house.
Yeah, I've enjoyed my car in a couple days, so I know exactly how that feels. What other questions we got in there? I'll let you read them out.
Jesse asks, Brandon, where the hell is your blanket, bro? I'm sleeping no blanket, man.
Yeah, he doesn't need a blanket, dude.
Canada, man.
Hey, so what would you say? What would you say is your favorite theme right now? Shopify theme.
I'm loving Debut so much right now.
Okay. Yeah, what about what? I like Debut as well. I'm just testing out with it. What do you think is I get this question a lot. The best niche. What do you think is the best niche to go into right now? Give me like one niche you think that you would go into.
One niche. I know right now for seasonal, probably gardening.
Yeah.
I feel like home and gardening and stuff.
I think like home improvement is going to be huge because I mean, if you think about it, I know majority of dropshipping stores are targeting women. So like, if you can target men somehow, like home improvement, or I don't know, maybe like I see that beard groomer a lot. Like, so grooming would be good. Like men's personal care, and I think men's home improvement are like two big. I think they're kind of untapped niches, to be honest. Like, I think you could really stand out in that space, like because traditionally, right, everyone markets towards women, whether it's beauty, gifts, whatever it may be. It's always marketed towards women because they are the main buyers in the household. But yeah, if you could find a product that you could sell to men, I think you have a lot less like pushback, less competition, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Are you selling worldwide right now, or just to one country?
For my new product that I was testing tier 1, but then my old winner, I actually transitioned. So I started testing tier 1. I narrowed down to just US and UK, and then I basically, after it, like right around the time I got my PayPal hold, I just started expanding to all ePacket basically. So I found a couple countries I wouldn't have sold to, which are like Germany, Denmark, and Australia, which I like didn't really have sales for before, but once I expanded and I took out my main countries, so like, right, I expanded my countries, but I took out like my main countries. So I took out US, UK, and I think it was like the Netherlands. I took those 3 countries out, or I took out US, UK, and Canada. And then I basically just targeted all the other ePacket countries, and it allowed those other countries to show up in my purchases because before Facebook was just like, okay, US, UK, you're getting all the purchases. Let me just keep sending keep sending the ads there. When I took them out, it was like it gave these other countries, time to shine. So that was a huge way for me to boost sales in just like outside of my main countries. It actually helped develop my like lookalike audiences and stuff to be way stronger in those countries, which I definitely like recommend, like in terms of just switching out your countries. Like, okay, if you have US going strong, try and test non-US or whatever your main country is you're selling to. Get rid of that and try and test other countries, because it can definitely allow you to branch out into a new market, and you can change your ad copy up and stuff. Like you can change the language. You could put like the country's flag in the ad copy too as well.
Yeah, that'd be powerful.
So I do that as well. Like that's one trick I would say, and one hack I do is like in literally the ad copy, the ad text. Like say I'm targeting Ireland, I'll put the Ireland flag at the very beginning, just a little emoji thing, whatever it is. Just put that right at the beginning, and then put it somewhere in the middle or somewhere at the end. And you can even put it in your video. Like you can do like a picture of a flag like waving in like at like the very end of it, and it just kind of helps promote like the nationality for that country.
That's true.
Yeah,
I was kind of doing a similar thing with that, except I was just doing it on the landing page, but I feel the ad copy is like would be way more powerful. Yeah.
Oh, you were doing it on like the product page?
Yeah, I was doing it on like a product page.
Oh, that's kind of smart actually. That's a good idea as well. I would definitely do that. What are the questions we getting in there?
What's up, guys? You guys both have been massive help for me, and I really appreciate it.
Hey. Appreciate that always.
And then Jesse got 3 sales since he started this chat. That's awesome.
What?
Yeah.
That's like what, 15 minutes? Like you got 3 sales in like 15 minutes? That's actually insane, dude.
Yeah, he's a consistent 500 plus days now. It's crazy.
Hey, profitable too? That's the key. Are they profitable? Hopefully.
Cyrus asks, what do you guys think about Google Ads?
I mean, I tested them. I didn't have that much success, but I've been at such a low budget where I'm like, I can't really say how well they work for me, because I just don't have enough experience with them right now.
Yeah, I have not touched Google Ads yet, but I've seen some other people play with them, and they get decent results.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's like you can get decent results for sure. But yeah. 3 cha-chings so far during this chat. Oh, let's go. Sam. Now I'm consistently 500 plus. What do you guys think about Google Ads? Making around 100-ish a day profit. Ooh, that's good. 100-ish a day profit, Sam. That's pretty clutch. Haven't had a day under making $60 profit in a minute. Wow, that's actually very impressive. Good. That's clutch. Hey, so what do you think about like, dropshipping 2019 versus like, when you started like 2018? What are you seeing as the biggest changes, like to stay ahead of the curve?
For sure, when like January, all the people were like pushing out like no timers and all that. But it seems like there's like a more emphasis on branding now, just because like back, like let's say 2016, like a lot of people get away with like free watches and stuff just because no one has heard of it. But I'm not really sure yet.
Yeah.
Personally, I use timers and stuff still, but like I still have like branding on my website, right?
Yeah, I think branding's huge. Like the way you can brand your store the easiest is definitely putting your watermark on your product photos. That definitely helps.
Yep.
And then just making sure your colors all match, like and your logo like stands out. Some the simpler your logo, the better. Like the big guys, their logos look super clean. Like they don't have, people can identify it from far away. They just know what it looks like. They got their branding. It's simple. Like I think the big guys keep it way simpler than like, we can get caught up in all the little hacks and checkout timers and like little trust badges, and we're not really thinking about like big picture. Because like big picture, like in all reality, I mean, and I learned this the hard way, is like, my store, when I was initially driving traffic to it for my product, like my store itself, my product page was pretty shit, but I was still getting sales and I was still profitable. And it made me realize like, oh, it's because I spent so much time on my videos and on my branding and like on my like brand reach, like brand awareness. And then I had so much retargeting going on that it was like, I'd pay like and I had like a ROAS of like 1.5 for my initial campaigns, but my retargeting would bring in like 2.5 to 3 plus ROAS, because like initially when people would see my ads, I'd get that video view, right? So then I can retarget that person who's already viewed my video, and that's where you can make a lot of money. And I think that's where it's changing, at least for Facebook ads nowadays in 2019, is that before you could just send out, say you're targeting one interest, right? It's a cold interest. You target that person that likes, something about, let's say something about pens, right? They like pens, they like drawing. So you can just target drawing, right? That one person who saw that drawing ad about your product, they're going to see it, and then they would buy from you right away. That's in 2018, I think, in 2017. Now it's like you have to show them that person, right? That this pen, basically this drawing pen, and you have to show them at once so they see your video, and then you got to show them either that same video again, or a picture, or a view, or a different video, or something different, basically for them to be like, oh, I saw that ad before, now I saw it again, and now I'm going to go purchase. So I think like that's where the changes is like retargeting is like so much more important than it was before.
I agree. Yeah,
I don't know.
Targeting,
Yeah.
like, especially having those like complicated funnels where like it's like broke down by time segments. So like view content like 3 days, view content in 7 days, and have like a different offer in each one. That was what I was doing, and I found that. So I would identify which like stages that customers would like most likely click again. If I found that add a cart 3 day would get like the most people coming back and purchasing, then I would just like double the budget on it, then just keep everything else the same. So it's kind of like almost like testing like cold interest almost.
Yeah, no, it really is. And it's like if you think about like, your funnel, right? It's like at the very top of your funnel you have the people who like viewed your video, and then under that you have the people who are like visited your website, right? Or you have like, I guess at the very, very top it would be like 75% video views, right? Like that's kind of where I'd start, I'd say, because like 50% video views, yeah, I mean it's good depending on your video, but like I'd really start like 75% video views, and then you got like 95%, then you got website visitors, add to cart, initiate checkout, purchase, obviously. But like if you can basically make the top of your funnel, like if you can get those people to like go to the next level, then you can retarget them again. And then like odds are if they see your ad 3 times, you're going to get to a point where you got to give them an offer, like, after they've added to cart maybe, or once they've visited your website but haven't added to cart, like give them some urgency, like stock urgency or something like that, saying, this is back in stock, here's 10% off, or get it today. It's like right, this month is April, you could be like, we have our April sale going on, use code April 15 or April 25 to get 15 or 25% off, right? That's an easy way to get people through your funnel, I think, and get them to purchase. So yeah, retargeting is massively important.
Church has a question for you. He says,
Yep.
My 2 CBOs, $100 each, and top 5 interests in one today are doing a lot worse than the other days. Should he keep letting it run a more couple days to see if it improves?
Today are so far a lot worse than just single CBO I was using. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would say, I always like to say I'd rather get more data before I kill something, because the worst thing you can do is like kill something too fast. And I always like to look at least, I like to have at least 3 days of data before I like really make a decision whether I'm going to scale something. So like, for example, if you don't have 3 days of data, like obviously right now, one thing I'd recommend is just like looking at the profitable ad sets. So right, you have what, 5 interests, top 5 interests in one, and they're doing a lot worse than the single CBO. So just today they're not doing well. So yeah, they're performing well in the past, but today they're not. So I would just basically not let today be like the determining factor, right? Because you're gonna have outliers, right? Like I have my ad sets that sometimes perform crazy well on like Tuesdays, but then the day after on Wednesdays they perform like shit. They don't get a sale. Averages out to be about even, but like I would say don't make like a gut decision just based on 1 day of data, because I've done that and it's definitely affected my ads. And I've done it when it's good too, right? Like I've had a great day and I'm like, I get so eager. I'm like, oh, let's go. This ad set's going to kill it. And I'll scale the shit out of it. And then sure enough, I'm like, oh, that's weird. It didn't work at it. Doubled the budget. Like, why did I do that? Sure enough, I didn't have enough data, right? So I didn't have like 10 purchases on that specific ad set. I only had like two, but I had a great ROAS, so I just like preemptively jumped it and scaled it when I probably shouldn't have. So what I'd say is look at least 3 days of data, and I think you're going to be able to make better decisions with that. What do you do, Brandon?
Yeah, same. I like to look at it on a 3 day span,
Mm-hmm.
and like for initially, if there's like no sales, then like say you're testing out, then I'll just look at like CTRs and cost per click. Generally, you want to have like a CTR of like over 2%, and I think for IG it might be just a little lower, just because it's IG.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally, 2% CTR is good, and then under $1 click
Mm-hmm.
is fine.
Yeah, cost per click. Yeah, you do $1. Yeah, I do about 1.5.
Yeah, yeah,
For retargeting, I do a little bit higher for retargeting just because obviously it's gonna cost you more money because your reach is gonna be less. You know, your pool of people you're gonna be sending the ad to is gonna be less obviously for retargeting. But like single interests, yeah, definitely it should be under like $1 for sure. Like that's yeah, spot
yeah,
on.
yeah. For
Ethan asked, "What is your base criteria before you kill?" Yeah, I say so. 3 days. The only reason I'd kill it early is if you look at like man, if you look at your CPC right away and it's like $2 or $3 after a day, you could kill that probably because that's not going to do well long term. It's going to be too expensive for you. Look at your CPM. If your CPM's like crazy high, then you can look at maybe doing things to lower it. So you can look at making your ads as page posts rather than dark posts. You can look at what do you have to do? Interact more on Facebook. Look at the comments on your ads. If your comments are negative, that can like raise your CPM after a while. Yeah, if your audience is too small, your CPM is going to be really high, right? If you have an audience under like 1 million or something, your CPM is just naturally going to be higher. It's going to cost more money for you to reach, 1,000 people essentially. So yeah, that's what I do. If your CPM is really high, if it's over like, if your CPM is over like $30, that's a little crazy. Like my average CPM is like $10 to $15 right now, and then my average CPCs it runs around like 30 to 50 cents. I'd say some days are higher, some days are lower, but it's around 30 cents to 50 cents. I've had higher CPCs and performed well as well. But yeah, that's just like a rough estimate for in terms of like base criteria before I kill stuff. What about you?
uh,
Base
I,
criteria before you kill.
like for testing or like when I'm
Like
scaling.
test, like testing. Yeah.
Testing, yes, I like to let it run for like at least a day, but that's like
Mm-hmm.
before. For now, I like to cycle in new ad sets during the day. Like so I have my ad sets or CBO start with like $100 or $200, so then I get the data pretty fast, right? So I can
Mm-hmm.
decide when to kill something like pretty fast and not like wait like over a span of a few days. So yeah, if some ad sets just like cost per click is too high, CTR is too low, then I'll just kill it right off the bat.
Oh yeah, good point. CTR, that's really important. If your CTR is consistently below 1%, that's going to be a really hard ad set to scale, or really hard ad copy to scale. Like CTR below 1% consistently is like that's tough. Like my CTR is really high. Mine's like 4 or 5% consistently right now.
Yeah,
Um,
and what I've noticed is like most most of the winning ad sets, they tend to perform pretty good at the start, like pretty early on.
mhm.
So then I would just like, if there's already ad sets performing good early on, then I'll just kill all the bad ones, and then I'll just schedule in new ones, and then just keep doing that until like you find good ad sets. Because like eventually you're gonna find good ad sets, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
just
that's so true. You just got to keep going. I feel like you have
yeah,
to
just
like
army of
you
them.
almost have to test. It's like with scaling, it's like you're basically like the way I look at it with scaling, right? So after you find your product that's selling well, your winner, you gotta like when you're scaling, right? So you're gonna launch a bunch of ad sets like one day, and the next day you're gonna like kill a bunch, right? And then you're gonna launch a bunch more, and then you're gonna kill a bunch. And then you're gonna launch. It's like you're like taking incremental steps. You're taking like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You can't like scale from like $1,000 a day to like 5,000 the next day. I mean, you
Yup.
can, but you're gonna be unprofitable. So it's like you just kind of take like mini stepping stones up and down and up and down and up and down until you're left with like a ton of profitable ad sets. That's the way I do it.
Yeah, so like it's kind of basically like planting a bunch of seeds, and like of course, some aren't gonna perform well, so like you can just get rid of those. But like at the end of the week, you're gonna be left with like really like strong ad sets in the end.
And it's like a gardening metaphor. You know, you plant all the seeds, and some of the plants are going to grow, but some will die down.
Yep.
And the ones that die, you just don't plant anything there. It's like that's not good soil, right? I'm not going to target that interest. I'm not going to plant an interest like right there, right? That's kind of exactly, yeah. I like that. That's a good way to put it, man. Well, we got some questions here, huh? How many purchases slash add to carts do you think you need before to start lookalike audiences? So purchases, I'd say at least, man, I'm kind of brutal on this. I'd say like at least 500, but you could do it with 100, I guess. Like I'm sure you could do it with 100. That's okay. The more the better, right? You're gonna have more data. Add to carts, add to carts. I like to have at least 1,000. Maybe that's too much, but I go with 1,000.
That's a good amount, yeah.
Yeah. You'll be able to do it like with website visitors sooner. I mean, your first audience, like lookalike audience, you could test is probably going to be 50% video views. You could try and test like 3-second video views and 10-second video views as well. That might work. But then, I mean, I'd say like the first couple audiences would be 50% and then 75%. Try 10-second and 3-second as well, just like quick ones. Put them in a CBO and put them outside of a CBO, see how they perform individually as well as inside of a CBO. Because lately what's been going on with my CBOs is like certain ad sets will be the Facebook allocate like, so say I have a CBO running at $100 with 5 ad sets in there. Facebook will put like $40 to one ad set and it'll underperform. And I'm like, why are you doing this? So what I've realized, I've tried to get my CPP for those ad sets to be the same. So like if I put an ad set that has a $5 cost per purchase and an ad set that has $10 cost per purchase, it's not going to be able to know like to spend, $5 on this one and $10 on this one, right? It's going to be like, oh, this one says $5, so I'm only going to spend $5 on this ad set. Therefore, it's not going to perform well. So I've tried to have, like when I'm putting my ad sets or my interests into a CBO, I try and make sure that my CPP is as close to the same as possible, So like that's one thing that's helped me kind of get away from when Facebook will spend so much money on one ad set and it'll be like an underperforming ad set. I'm sure you've seen that happen too as well.
It's super annoying.
Yeah. What did they say? Let's see here. Do you usually scale down by engaged shoppers to have a smaller audience? I don't.
No. Before, a lot of people were pushing that, but I guess like no one does that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It just raises your CPM, honestly. And Facebook's like pretty smart to know who your purchasers are, so you don't really need to use engaged shoppers.
Mm-hmm. Church said my CTR is 1.3% and 0.35 CPC. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, those look like fine stats, right? CTR could be a little higher, but that's okay. How long have you been dropshipping? I have been dropshipping since November 23rd or 22nd. I'll check the exact date. What about you?
December.
Oh, snap. Okay, so I got a month ahead of you. All right. You're going to catch up soon, though. I want to get away from AliExpress. What's it like using a sourcing agent? What's the process? Yeah, I mean, sourcing agent's great. Like, I like using my sourcing agent. Definitely more so than AliExpress. Let's see. What are the, like, I'm thinking, like, disadvantages and, advantages. Advantages, obviously, if you work it out with your sourcing agent, you can definitely like free up some cash flow so you won't have to pay for your product like all at once, which is nice. Another advantage would be shipping times. You can usually get lower shipping times because of the processing time. So, AliExpress, you're going to have anywhere from 5 to 7 day processing time. With a sourcing agent, you could get that down to like 1 to 3 days. The second part of a sourcing agent that's good is that for customer service, you can generally have better customer service on there. That's another thing that really, really helps. What else for advantages of sourcing agent? Stock, I guess they can hold stock for you. You could get custom packaging, custom labeling, stuff like that. Disadvantages, obviously, is the risk of, when the manufacturer stocks out of your product, you're not going to know exactly how to source that again, right? So, like, if your manufacturer stocks out of your product, your sourcing agent won't be able to get it. And then, that's definitely a risk you have to look into.
Cyrus asks, you said you like using Debut. What kind of store do you use it for? I use it for a niche store, and I'm pretty sure you can use it for a one product store. And Connor, you use it for like what do you use it for?
For what?
Debut theme.
Yeah, I use it for like my next store I'm making right now, which is pretty much a one product store. It's like niche one product, I'd say, because I have my main product, but then I have products in there that are like directly related to it that I use to upsell and get my average order value up by like $5-10 essentially. So it's not, I don't have one product, but my name is around it. I'll have to show you it after this, Brandon. It's pretty funny.
For sure, for sure. Do you see my site I sent you?
Yeah, I think so. Did you send it over? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I saw. Yeah. What did they say? You said you like using debut. Okay, perfect. Use de-essers. You use that, Brandon?
Yeah, yeah. I found it better like when you're like testing products that you can
Mm-hmm.
fulfill stuff in bulk like super easy, like way easier than
Mm-hmm.
Overlow, 100%.
Oh, okay. Hey, whoever's watching this right now, go smash the like button, and then go to a different account on your YouTube account and also smash the like button, and then go to your third account and then smash the like button on the video as well. That way you have 3 likes. 3 is the magic number, you know.
Do you have three YouTube accounts, Connor?
I have like, I mean, I don't have 3 YouTube accounts, but I think I have 4. No, I have more than like, I think I have probably 6 different Google
Yeah,
accounts.
yeah, same.
I guess then technically, did I have 6 different YouTube accounts then, right? Because if
Yeah,
I
yeah,
log in
yeah.
to, so yeah, about 6 then. So if I wanted to, I could like it with those accounts, but I'm not gonna do that. Getting on my other accounts, dude. Let's go. That's what I like to see.
13 watching right now.
Um,
Yeah, guys, ask questions. Like,
yeah, I'd say we got another like 15 minutes or so here probably
yeah,
to
yeah.
just answer questions. So whatever questions you guys have, drop them right now. Brandon and I are going to be answering them back and forth, obviously. So just ask whatever questions you have. What products we should sell? What you want to sell? What product? What
Yo, we're gonna
niches
tell
are
you guys all the
good?
secrets. Like,
Lifestyle changes. What's it
oh
like
yeah,
to
lifestyle
make
changes.
200K in sales? How big is your head? It's like after 200K in sales, like there's so much. I
Like
feel like.
aneurysm, like is contribute. Like,
Oh, I gotta ask you this. How are you like how are you scheduling your day? So what do you do to like stay organized? Because that's always something that like I don't think many people talk about organization skills, like time management. What do you
holy,
do?
good question. So for the past previous 2 or 3 months, man, I was like legit dying. Like, I was like, I actually have a before and after photo of me. Like,
Like losing weight or
yeah, I lost like almost 15 pounds. It was like pretty
wow.
bad, yeah. And then, but for time management, I like to do everything hard in the morning. So like, I would wake up, instantly go on my ads, and do everything in the morning, and then just let the day slow ride and like look at my ads generally throughout the day. So then I can kind of just chill throughout the day, right?
Hmm.
But most of the things I like to do in the morning, including working out, but getting probably like a VA is probably life changing for you too, right?
Oh, dude, I try and tell people like I would say get a VA when you're at like 10 or 20 orders. Like it'll just change your mindset about drop shipping so
Bro,
much because yeah.
like it's just like $400 a month. You're just like, bro, after you getting this, bro, I'm willing to pay like $1,000 a month, bro.
Well, yeah, that's the stuff. Like, if you think about it, right? If you yourself as a dropshipper, as a business owner, are going to be the one who's answering customer emails, like essentially what you're doing is you're like telling yourself that you are worth $5 to $10 an hour, right? That's what you're telling yourself. You're saying your time is worth $5, your time's worth $10 an hour, and like right as a dropshipper, you don't go into drop shipping, you don't go into owning a business to make $5 to $10 an hour. If you did, you go be working at McDonald's or something, right? That's not what you get into the business for. So why would you put yourself down to that level of saying like, oh yeah, I want to be doing the customer service, I want to be doing all the fulfillment? It's like you should be focusing on, as a business owner, like how you can focus on building your brand, building your store, building your personal brand, all of that stuff. That should be your number one priority, not how should I resolve this chargeback. That's like it's so like yeah, it's just not worth your time. And that it took me a while to understand that as well. But yeah, once I got my first VA and even my second VA, it was like it's such a life changer, man. I have so much more time to just focus on video ads, like Facebook ads, YouTube, all this other stuff.
Do you guys both make new ad sets every day, and if I don't have the biggest budget yet, do you think I should try to set up another CBO with 10 to 15 more interested tests? Well, the thing is, so Gabriel, and I've been following his thing. He basically has one CBO where he just tests all the code interests. So I like to just like cycle in new ad sets in and out of that, and then you can just take the best ad sets and then put it into a new CBO and test it there. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
What
create new ad sets every day if you can. If
what
you can.
is what does Gabriel do? Does he put all the ads like cold interest ad set in a CBO?
Yeah, he tests the code interest in a CBO, or I think that's what I got out of his video. Maybe I like, but I'm pretty sure that's what he was saying
Yeah,
in his
because
latest
I
video.
like doing that too. That's definitely good. I think it's a good way to like see what interests are gonna, do well, and you can pull those interests into a new CBO. After you have a couple days of data, you can just pull them into a CBO at a higher budget. But yeah, I like testing in a CBO. It's kind of nice. Sometimes what's weird though is like your CBO, what the interest in your CBO won't perform as good as it or the same way that it does outside of the CBO.
True,
So like
true.
I'll have a $10 a day interest that'll be at like a 4 ROAS, and I put it in my CBO and it doesn't even get a sale. So you just have to like test what works for your store, because sometimes I like testing both ways too. If I have
Yes.
good interests, I'll take those out of the CBO and put them like standalone. If they work standalone, then I'll take those and kind of like duplicate the budgets and raise it and stuff like that. Just like I honestly do a combination of a lot of things just to test what works.
Ethan asked, "Where do you guys go to learn?" That's a good
I,
question. So,
what what's the question? Where
where
did
do
you
you guys
guys?
go to learn?
I mean, I'll let you answer that first.
So for me, when I was starting out, I love like going on YouTube and watching like Ari and Gabriel and all of them, especially King Kong. And then after, I would go on like Facebook groups, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are in Facebook groups when you guys are starting it out. And like, I didn't realize this until like later on, but like Facebook groups are like a lot of them have like just a bunch of like BS going on. Like they're like it isn't really informational, and like after you identify that like you kind of need to like just go on your own and just experience it instead of like watching so much videos, and it's kind of down just like networking and experimenting pretty much. Like, I don't think things, sorry, I always have like a hard time organizing my thoughts, but
It's all good. Oh no, yeah, but you're saying you mainly followed YouTubers that you like their strategies, and you kind of if you think about it, right, you kind of like split tested them when you're starting out. You kind of
yeah, you
like
split test them when you started out, and like
yeah,
I
you
kind of
like
lost
try
money doing
one,
that.
you try one, and then you do another strategy, and then you try another one. You keep going. For me, I did I did YouTube starting out, and then obviously what really helped me was getting mentorship from Ivy, just because he was at a way higher level than me. And like obviously for me, man, that was like a huge risk to go out there and be like, look, I'm gonna invest. I've never invested, I call it investing in yourself, that much money in myself ever. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the closest thing I'd say to do was like going to college, obviously, but like it wasn't just me being like, look, I'm spending this much money for a mentor, and that's what I'm going all in. It's like that was a big chunk of change for me. So for me, that definitely helped accelerate my learning like to a level that I just like. It's so hard to even put into perspective. I know we've talked about this like offline, Brandon, but it's like the stuff you learn from the people like that are higher up and that have been through a lot of this stuff is like it's just like so life changing, because they've been through like essentially everything we've been going through, but like times 10. So they've been
Yep.
through it like 10 times. They understand exactly like how to solve those problems. They understand how to avoid those risks, to mitigate the risks when they do happen. So it just like their strategies, they're on a different level of thinking, and I think that's the key, is like always looking up to where you can go to, and then on top of that, like bringing people up, that aren't on your level yet, and just helping people get to like your same level, because like that's the key, right? Like always paying it forward, I think, is something that's super super important, not only just in business and dropshipping, but in life. Like you got to always bring people up to your level, and like always be looking towards the top of the mountain, like where do I want to be, in 10 years, 5 years, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and those people that you bring up too, they'll have their own networks, and they'll like the knowledge that they gain from you. They'll like
Hmm.
they'll also go out and like spread it too, right? So then they'll
Yes,
have their own
100%.
network, and then like it'll indirectly help you as well. So
Hmm.
they'll pay it back to you in the future, right? So yeah, it's pretty good to like look up to someone, but also like help others as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What did they say? Damn, boys, just got another cha-ching. Oh, let's go. That's awesome. Let's see. Do you guys think having multiple of the same interests in different CBOs could affect each other slash compete with each other? I mean, as long as your audience is over like this is what I say. If your audience is over like 4 or 5 million, I don't think you have to be worried about audience overlap personally. Because like if you think about it, your audience, your ad's only going to reach what like 10, 20,000 people probably like at lower budgets. So if you think about it in the big picture and the audience size is like over 4 or 5 million, I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah, true. And then I was thinking, if you create like a custom audience, maybe 3 second view, and then you exclude that in your ad sets, maybe that could help not overlap as well.
That's a really good idea. You definitely could exclude that. That would, I mean, yeah, it would be such a small portion that you'd be excluding, but it would definitely, yeah, get rid of basically, um, yeah, that would get rid of the overlap. That's a good idea. Uh, King Kong as a beast.
Yup.
That's what's up. My problem is that I can market really well, but when it comes to Facebook ads, I get lost. Okay, so I mean, Facebook ads is a part of marketing. So like, I would say, whatever, like Facebook ads, you get lost. It is more, I guess, math kind of based, but at the same time, it's still like I say this all the time. It's an art. It's not a science. There's no right way to do it. Everyone's got their own ways that are effective. You just define which way works for you. So I would just recommend like don't be afraid to test and spend money. Like you're gonna have to spend money before you can make money. That's the one thing that it took me a while to get over was like, just because I spend $1,000 and I don't quote unquote make money, I'm still buying data, and then that data and what I've learned, that is what's gonna help me make money long term. It's like I'm throwing the money out there and I'm hoping I'm gonna get it back in return, but I'm not just throwing it out aimlessly like, oh,
Yeah.
here you go, Brandon, you get $50. I tried your strategy. Okay, Gabe, $100 for your strategy. Connor, $20 for your strategy. It's like, no, I'm testing it smart to make sure it's working, and then I'm going from there, basically. So that's
Yeah.
kind of what I do.
Yeah. Definitely don't be afraid of spending money. Like
Mm-hmm.
generally, most like your like successful campaigns have usually been like two ROAS, right? Like around 2 point something.
Yeah, it averages out to be about two. Yeah.
So like if you're like testing, usually I'll like on the day I'll spend like 500, and then I'll like estimate that I'll probably get like 1,000 at the end of the day. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to get like 3,000, maybe like you're probably gonna spend like around $1,000 in ads, and then probably profiting around 300 to maybe 500, something like that. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
No, I would agree.
Yeah, spend money to make money, and I think
Heck yeah,
Jesse
man.
would agree as well.
Oh yeah, I think Jesse agrees 100%. Yeah, spending money to make money. That's the key, honestly.
Yep.
So what? Probably like what? Closing thoughts, man, and then just wrap it up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Facebook does pretty much all the heavy lifting for us. We kind of just have to like lay the foundation in place with like our marketing skills.
Yeah, I would say that you just like, for closing thoughts, the big one for me is just like making sure that whatever you guys are doing in your day, that you audit what you're doing in your day, right? So like if you're spending, an hour a day like watching YouTube and not focusing on your store, that's going to be detrimental long term to your business. So I just highly recommend that, whatever you guys are doing during your day, it's like 100% focused on your business because long
Yep.
term that's going to help you guys out with the money you're making and what you're learning. So just like if you're really serious about drop shipping, just go all in and don't be afraid of like, what people say or like, just be motivated from within. It should be you should have the right reasons why you choose to drop ship.
For sure, for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
And always try to do something throughout your day that's contributing to like making money. So like whether
Mm-hmm.
that's finding products, reading. Like I spent a big part of my first month dropshipping just reading a mindset books. So like How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis is a pretty good one. So it's
Oh yeah.
have you read
Mm-hmm.
that one before or heard of it?
No, I've heard of it. Yeah. What was the one I read? I'll find it. I think it's called like The Art of Not Giving a Fuck by it's like an orange cover book. I'll put it on my story after this, but it's really good if you're like, listening to other people's opinions and stuff like that. It's definitely a good book to like really help you like realize why you're motivated to do what you're doing. So
Yeah,
yeah, it
mindset's
helped.
so important. Like you can be like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like average guy, but like the
Hmm.
mindset that you get from reading books and stuff is so powerful. Like,
No, 100%,
yeah,
dude. That's so true.
yeah, that's pretty
Okay.
much my closing thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was basically all my closing thoughts, I'd say too.
So then we'll see you guys in the next live, and we'll have it. We'll try to have it structured better. So thank you guys for tuning in, and
Yeah. Thank
check
you,
out Connor
everybody.
on
It was a
IG.
great live. It was a great live. Go follow Brandon right now. If you're not followed to his channel, subscribe, follow, like, comment, everything, whatever it may be.
All right, see you guys.
Peace out, guys.